Folks, welcome to another episode of Werewolf Radar. Believe it or not, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name's Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
I am Roger Norquist.
Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroco brand Fine Ground Oyster Meal, a gritty nutritional sand made from 100% ground up live screaming oysters. Works as a wonderful insulation, grout, or feed for your least hated stepchild. Oyster meal from Monstroco. What the
Does make a good loaf.
Yeah, you put a little water in there. You can make oyster loaf. It's slippery. It quivers. It's not great. It's upsetting. It's chilling. It's clammy. But, you know, this isn't meant to be a celebratory food. This is a functional, sometimes punishment food. They used to feed them to the ancient German children. The ground up oysters. They would sprinkle them on the stones, and the children would have to peck them up like geese.
Now, see, when you said the ancient German children, I thought you meant the 1,000-year-old children.
Oh, yes, that's the only thing that the ancient children can digest is oyster meal.
Once in a
sprinkled
witch's
on the
moon.
stones, pecked up like a goose. Der Kindergoosen, they call them.
I used to be one of them. You turn out okay, but your nose gets shorter. You just keep bashing it against the stone.
Once every year, you shed your nose and grow a new one. On the witch's moon, I'm told. Which is the witch's moon? Which one's the witch's moon?
Realistically, no idea. I don't believe in mooncraft.
I would think all of them.
That's true. Depends on the witch, depends on the moon. Can I go first?
I had some pressing news.
You have pressing news. Oh shit. Okay. I've never gotten pushback. This must be urgent.
I kicked you in the knees.
Ow! All of my knees.
I opened the speaking skull, and then I unleashed the speaking skull on your knees. I'm keeping you at bay. I got some news. Annabelle the doll is going on tour.
I just got a new album.
Yeah.
Annie
First
and the
new album in
Clamps.
20 years.
Wow. I'm scared of Annabelle. I wish I wasn't.
If you're not sure who Annabelle is, our YouTube is a great way to look at all these images. Also, thank you for everyone who pushed us over the 1,000 subscriber limit.
Hey, that makes us
line.
What do they call us?
YouTube's citizens.
YouTube citizens or something.
But here is Annabelle, a Raggedy Ann doll.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
Really adorable, triangle-like nose, you know.
Classic.
Eyes with eyelashes on the bottom, not on the top.
I don't like looking at the picture directly. I'm finding.
All right, let's.
No. What does the caption say? I do want to read the caption.
All right, the caption and sharing it so we can all read together. Everyone, read this together. Annabelle, the Raggedy Ann doll that stands upright at roughly 3 feet tall, was a gift to the Hartford nurse in 1970 who bought the home.
Brought it home.
Nope. I said
Nope,
read it
the first
together.
way.
After it became possessed, Annabelle became one of the most infamous haunted artifacts.
Thank you for that AI article from dailymail.co.uk.
There are the Warrens.
There they are, the Warrens. I mean, I gotta say, Ed Warren batting above his pay grade. I'm just saying, she's hotter than he is.
She's way more attractive.
It's like me. It's like me and my fiance. You know, people are like, "What happened here?" Oh, he's a demonologist.
He's
Got
a
it.
demon boy. I understand now. That makes perfect sense.
So yeah, Annabelle freaks me out. Looking at the picture freaks me out. It sits in such a way that is like uncomfortable for me to look at. It's like for some reason it looks heavier than you would think a doll. It almost looks like a person with a little costume on.
it looks like a small mascot who's on break, who's tired from of their outfit, and is kind of just legs wide open, hands in between. If it wasn't in a museum, there would be a cigarette in there. She'd be smoking it.
She's really Ann spreading, if you know what I mean. It's like man spreading, but she's adult. That's a good joke. Whatever. Puns are fine. Elon Musk said puns are legal now, and comedy is back. And then black bile shot out of his ears, turned into flies, and spelled out a date in the distant future. Anyway,
this article is written by
the Annabelle thing. She scares me.
She's scary.
I love the sign that says "Absolutely do not," and that's all it says.
Yeah, whatever you're thinking, autofill this sign.
And whatever you're cooking up, just don't.
This is from Lauren Acton Taylor. And once again, it is Annabelle doll sparks panic as she goes on tour, despite paranormal experts saying she never should be moved.
Yeah, don't do that. You don't need to.
Well, wait,
all right, so
just read that again. So she's sparking terror.
She's sparking terror. She's going on tour,
despite paranormal experts saying she should never be moved. Because I feel like that's
the headline.
Despite's the wrong word here.
Grammar is
because would maybe be.
Grammar is hard. Okay.
Prompted by warnings from paranormal experts. Also, paranormal experts is such a loaded term. It's like I'm a paranormal expert.
We are.
Me, the guy from Ghost Weed Radio.
I mean, here's the truth. According to our buddy Jason Cordova.
Oh yeah, Jay Cordova.
But I forgot. I forgot what the group is called. I apologize. But.
They're legit paranormal experts.
Yeah, they have like.
Well, no, because you need a doctorate to be an expert. We are paranormal researchers.
Oh, okay, I'll take that. I'll wear that.
Interns.
You're an expert when you prove your knowledge,
your expertise. Fair enough.
Academia.
That actually takes a lot of the pressure off, and I feel like that better represents me.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that as well. We research it all the time.
I'll even go with paranormal entertainer.
But until CU has a paranormal department, I refuse to get my degree in some sham.
Hosted by, or I guess they call it teaching, not hosted by. Fuck, showbiz has destroyed me.
This whole department hosted by Zach Baggins.
Yeah. It's gotta be Dr. Frankenstein, right?
Yeah, he has a doctorate already.
Yeah,
he's the only one qualified.
Really,
I love the idea that the TA. Has to do a tight 5 up front.
It's got to be funny. You better make that fucking rubric hilarious, bud.
So here's what's going on with Annabelle. She's going on tour. Paranormal investigator and former host of Paranormal State, Ryan Daniel Buell.
Okay, everyone's favorite.
Really brought attention to it.
Okay.
The Devils on a Run tour is what it is called.
That's pretty cool. Kind of.
I mean, that's pretty solid.
It takes items including Annabelle from the Warrens Occult Museum collection in Monroe across the country.
Across the county. Do you want to see Annabelle, but you're scared to cross Main Street?
They started with the county just doing open mics out at different rural areas.
Hang on.
Showing their wares.
I got one. When a ghost does it, it's called an open yikes.
Oh.
Okay, we can continue now.
So
we're also going on tour on a tangent yet again.
So it's all the caffeine.
Yeah, that's what it is.
In the history of Annabelle, long story short, Annabelle is where's the beginning of it? I apologize.
She's spooky.
So back in the 70s, a Hartford nurse brought it home. I could only assume from work, maybe. It was one of those nice comfort dolls. And she's like, I'm going to take this home and fix it or something.
Yes, the doll that seems to have absorbed the souls of all the children who died here. I'll give it a home.
It's weird that every child who held it died the night after. But she and her roommates began reporting unexplained behavior from the doll, according to the New England Society for Psychic Research. Annabelle reportedly moved on her own and at one point attacked the fiance of one of its owners.
Yeah, supposedly did a real
well, but that was only after he refused to be seduced by a doll.
Apparently it did a real Chucky on him. Like leapt across the room and really sporked him.
It would be like fighting a Muppet, though. Like, I wouldn't be scared.
I would be terrified. I would be fucking I would be fighting mostly against my own panic.
Right.
It would be startling.
You would definitely be thrown off for the first few seconds of that.
Have you seen the video of Chucky in Espanol? Oh, there I am. Of Chucky translated into Spanish, and it's a guy like talking to him, and then Chucky comes to life and attacks him. He's like, and it's very, very funny, and that's what I'm imagining happening with Annabelle.
We're gonna add that to my Spanish curriculum now.
It's very funny, dude.
So long story short, there's some haunting things going on with the doll to definitely give it.
She got her own movie series.
Give it that horror, yeah. The Warrens came in to investigate it. Not saying the Warrens are true experts and not frauds and con men at times.
Yeah, they came in to investigate / make money off of scamming people.
And now we have 3 movies. This was written and going on tour in part because there was another Annabelle sequel being released.
Right. I love them.
Out.
I suck them down like Coca-Cola. Can't get enough of that shit.
And they took some liberties with it, not to stretch this, what was supposed to be a shorter news segment into, but this is the Annabelle from the movie, right?
Right. 100% different.
No. Is it? Is it? They're not taking the real one on tour?
No, they're taking the real one. This is the movie
real one on tour.
The movie one is the like porcelain one that looks all creepy.
Yeah.
The real one is just the kind of nondescript Raggedy Ann.
And what do you think would be scarier? For me, this is scary, but like it's hokey, it's hacky, it's tacky.
Oh, seeing the one that they used in the movie, I don't give a shit. I'll bounce that thing around on my knees. I'm taking fucking selfies. I'm putting it on the gram. Seeing the actual one that sits in the absolutely do not box, I would be frozen in place because of my own, bullshit. But it would truly stop me from moving, I think.
Going on tour and no one's happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see. This is the type of thing. This is exactly the type of like paranormal attraction that I am okay with, where it's like somebody else moved her and they will take all of the brunt of her rage. Yeah, I'll take a peek.
Right.
Let me look in there.
People online.
Hey, my nickel.
And this and these people online that are being panicked. Like, this isn't like the paranormal experts going like, it's gonna cause havoc. And that's the panic. Like, people, this is some of their quotes. Lorraine said not to move her. Then in all caps, the Warrens said not to move her. Another said, Tony should be ashamed of himself because I know he is a part of it. Ed and Lauren said, no matter what happens to them, Annabelle does not leave the museum. Tony has gone against it numerous times for $. Tony would be the one who is who's doing the tour.
He's their son, right?
Touring Tony.
I do believe so.
Is that why he doesn't show up in any of the movies? Is that why he didn't get a subplot where his psychic powers are awakening?
I think the son...
they shut him out from the process.
That would be a good one.
Where he shows up and he's like, what about me, guys? And they're like, not you. You can't fight the ghosts. You can't see them as we can.
Ed and Lorraine are rolling in their graves right now. You know, the whole like, what are you doing? You're playing with mystical fire we don't know anything about.
Yeah, I think that it's probably fine.
Yeah, it's not like Annabelle is plugging up some sort of crack in the dam to hell.
And
Yeah.
Tony really
We should
does.
watch the next movie.
Tony, I'm sure, is making money from the Annabelle series. I don't
You
know
think
for
so?
sure. Hollywood is definitely a corrupt financial area that likes to rip people's money away for the hands of the producers, you know.
Hollywood?
Hollywood. But I assume, I hope that Tony's getting his money from his parents' names and likenesses being used properly. And he seems to be really going on tour with this doll for educational purposes, so people can see these artifacts and be like, this is some paranormal stuff, and here's the story behind it.
I think you meant educational, like this is how demon dolls are made.
And that brings us to this update, which is an update and an update. In between now and this story, the 17th of May to the 25th of May, that's today, Annabelle went missing.
Fuck you. What? Is she behind me? What's happening? Did you set this up?
I did not. The doll just went missing for a number of days.
Oh, she's back. Okay,
she is back.
Fuck off. Annabelle. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
Tony, who we talked about, their real name is Tony Sapera, director of the New York, England Society for Psychic Research, said the doll never was missing. We had taken the doll on a brief tour to several locations so paranormal enthusiasts could witness the real Annabelle.
That all makes sense, but also, I would, if I was doing a pretty scammy occult tour like this, I would 100% PT Barnum that shit up and be like, have a whole story where we don't know what happened.
Yeah. That was my first thought.
Nice, Nate, you jumped on board and went farther than me. So check this out. Tons of this appears all like the doll was never in any danger, people. The doll never went missing. Everyone online's all like...
We took her to the clown motel for a few days. See some friends.
A bunch of people on TikTok were like, Lorraine tried to warn you.
Yeah.
It's extremely dangerous, blah, blah, blah.
He was like, this is advertising and you're all falling for it. Good.
Here's what happened while she supposedly was missing. You had the Nodaway plantation fire.
Oh, right. She went cleaning out Annabelle himself.
She's an abolitionist and hates the idea of these monuments existing in any way.
Annabelle's been a northerner the entire time.
She's just a real fucking vehement political Yankee.
And there was the escape of 10 inmates from a jail in New Orleans.
Okay, were they
were
also
doll
Yankees?
assisted.
Oh, and can I tell you, one of those inmates was a guy who many years ago, he saw a New Orleans cop assassinate his grandmother in front of the family. Like this guy was terrorizing the whole neighborhood. He would come through, just do horrible shit, murdered this old black woman in front of him. And this kid vowed on that day, he said, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to kill you and your family. And he fucking did. And Annabelle let him go.
Why did he kill the family?
Well, the guy killed his family.
Promises made.
I don't know how much of the family he killed.
That seems like a misstep in vigilantism. But hey, listen, I'm not writing this one.
So that's been the Annabelle news. She's on tour. Fires are being started. Inmates are escaping jails.
a tree fell through a Confederate museum.
You take the good with the bad, you know?
Someone broke into the button eye factory and just had a fucking field day.
But that's my short
Ate all
little,
the buttons.
That's my short little segment. I'm just very amazed by
someone broke into an Old Navy and had sex with all the clothes.
I admit that
someone broke into a Build-A-Bear and wow, I'll just leave it there.
I admit that I am on the I'll punch a doll side of the paranormal, even though I'd be quite scared. You know, I'm a hypocrite, if you will.
I don't think it would be like
I talk a big talk, but I carry little stick when it comes to batting them around.
I don't think it would be like a physical threat. But I think that the fog of wars, anyone who's ever witnessed someone over the age of like 38 play a first-person shooter for the first time will know that the fog of war will take you and make you look at the ceiling and spin in a circle while the monster fucking does whatever the fuck it wants. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I'm surprised to see that people are so scared of it.
Yeah,
I don't know why these people are so afraid. Like,
I guess
they're afraid of the damage the doll's going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what is it gonna? I mean, all right. I mean, if it carries some sort of bizarre curse that,
which people will tell you it does.
Well, is it cursed or is it like inhabited by something?
Yeah.
That's like, for my segment next week when I talk about Annabelle the doll.
Cursed or inhabited.
All right. Jordan.
Roger's recurring segment.
I'm going to pet the speaking skull gnawing on your shin still. Calm it down a little bit. There we go. You should be able to. I
had only just gotten to the point where it was wonderful background music for me. I'm actually, my segment is going to be relatively short because I actually was looking for, there was a bit of a Boogosphere update. The Boogosphere, of course, we know was a sphere found in Colombia. It looks like maybe some kind of intergalactic coffee maker, or maybe a Wi-Fi hub.
Venusian Keurig.
Yes. The Venurig. That's nothing. I'm sorry. And
it does sound like some sort of weird German thing that you would wear to cure syphilis.
Oh, I have to put on my Venurig. Yikes. It really does. Okay. So a little update there. I saw an article that said that they may have discovered fiber optic cables within the Boogosphere. But that was just a thing on Reddit that I now can't find the article link to, but stay tuned. There might be, they may have been watching through the sphere all along, like we assumed they fucking were. Why
they just kind of cracked it open like an egg.
Oh, oops. Oh, wait a minute. Did you just drop that? No. Why is it cracked open? Oh, what's that? Yeah. Anyway, little update.
We're getting free HBO through here.
A little update on the Boogosphere. I also went over and wanted to check out what's going on at our pal SpookyAppalachia.com's website. Wanted to see what's been happening with Spooky Appalachia. We love his stuff. We love what he's up to. He has given us full permission to share articles on his website, which we haven't really done very much of. So I have gone there and instantly saw an article about something that I've been looking for a while, which is one of the spate of mysterious airship sightings that happened in the United States around the 1920s or 30s. You ever heard about this? Absolutely.
And everyone, look us in the eyes. You all subscribe to their channel right now.
Subscribe to Spooky Appalachia. It's fantastic. Go and check out the YouTube channel. There's a link to this tale. There's a video about this story about the 1931 Gallipolis airship sighting. Also on spookyappalachia.com, right on the homepage. Go check out the video, but I'll read you the account right now. This was put up on May 21st, not too long ago at all. By the one and only Spooky Appalachia. Gallipolis airship sighting. Saturday, October 10th, 1931. Harold Mackenzie was at the Ohio riverfront when he claimed to witness a strange sight, an unidentified airship hovering in the sky above Gallipolis, Ohio. Intrigued, he contacted his friends at the Foster Dairy plant to come see it for themselves. Love that.
Who's that behind those Foster Dairies?
Yo, stop whipping butter. I got something more fascinating than sour cream down here. Okay. See it for themselves. Among those who responded were Robert P. Henke and his wife, along with Dr. Claude Parker and his wife. They gathered on First Avenue, where Mrs. Parker provided field glasses for a clearer view. For those of you who don't know, field glasses, old-timey word for binoculars, even though binocular sounds much more old-timey. As curiosity grew, more people joined the group and reportedly watched the mysterious object drift over the Ohio River. Now, what are we talking? Are these the days of airships? Is this the golden age?
I mean, well, because like the golden age of airships, I would think would be like, because they were used frequently in World War I.
Yeah, the 20s and 30s. During the 1920s and 30s, the United States Navy spent millions of dollars building Zeppelins that were not only designed to protect Hawaii and California from a surprise attack by Japan in the days before the radar, but promoted them as the next form of long-distance transportation, competing with luxury ocean liners.
You know what stopped it?
Go
on.
Yeah, a bunch of Nazis dying.
And
good.
And just passengers on an airship.
I think they were all Nazis.
No, it's a pretty sad tale.
I don't think it is.
There's another great YouTube channel called Tasting History where Max Miller recreates some of the stuff that they ate on the Hindenburg and talks about it.
Was it good?
It's
mostly vulcanized rubber.
Anyway,
but yeah, there were definitely a couple of Nazis on there, and those parts were funny, but the other parts were sad. Two things can be true. Anyway, back to the mysterious Gallipolis airship sighting.
Well, the thing is about the Hindenburg, there were a lot of airships.
Yeah.
How many Boeings have we lost recently? We lose one Hindenburg and all of a sudden no airships.
Yeah.
They're just not even trying to regulate safety and keep that going.
We figured out the dirigible problem, We really have a...
Don't blow it up.
No, we really came to a final solution with airships, and that is hydrogen. Not helium.
Yes.
Or no. Helium.
Helium.
Not hydrogen. Wait, don't mix them up.
Yeah.
I'm going to put these two cans right next to each other.
You know what?
I'll mark this
label...
one with an H for hydrogen, and this one with an H for helium. Now, don't mix these up, you three knuckleheads. And that's how the Hindenburg happened. Look, back to the article. They're looking through the field glasses, right? This will get paranormal before it's all said and done. Don't worry. Damn it, I lost the article. Vamp, I got it. Through the field glasses, Henke estimated the blimp to be about 100 and 150 feet long, flying at an altitude of around 300 feet. Reports of the airship also came in from neighboring areas, including Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where townspeople and state highway workers claimed to have seen it. Additional sightings were made by people on Raccoon Island and even in Huntington, West Virginia. Then around 2:50 the blimp appeared to suddenly lose momentum. Witnesses described the craft breaking in two and trailing smoke as it plummeted toward the hills near Gallipolis Ferry. Do you think it's Gallipolis or Gallipolis?
I bet they call it Gallipolis.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm thinking.
Near Gallipolis Ferry, West Virginia. Several onlookers claimed to have seen 4 parachutists eject from the burning wreckage. Later, Lieutenant D. Hodgson, who was inspecting engines at the Gallipolis Airway Company around 3 p.m., was approached by a man asking if he had seen the airship. Oddly, Hodgson had neither seen nor heard anything unusual. He later spoke with 20 to 30 people who all insisted they'd observed the same strange craft, which had remained stationary for nearly an hour before its sudden crash. According to them, the airship bore no visible markings and appeared to lack a cabin. It's weird.
It's very UFO-like then.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Numerous eyewitnesses reported the apparent crash to Dr. Charles E. Holzer, the owner of the Gallipolis Airport. I gotta say Gallipolis. I don't know. It's pulling me. The sheriff of Mason County led a nighttime search through the wooded terrain, but by dawn, no sign of wreckage was found. On October 11th, State Trooper Pomeroy conducted a follow-up ground search. Dr. Holzer even organized an aerial survey in hopes of locating debris or survivors. The effort yielded nothing. The Akron Airfield reported that all its airships were accounted for, and the Goodyear Zeppelin Company confirmed none of its blimps were missing. WV Senator H.D. Hatfield, that's West Virginia Senator H.D. Hatfield, later revealed that he had requested the USS Akron to fly over Huntington's Fairfield Stadium, but the Navy had declined and the craft never flew over the area. In the end, the airship was never identified. No wreckage was found and no parachutists were located. Officially, there was no record of any aircraft in the area that day, and yet dozens of credible witnesses swore they saw the mysterious blimp, a phantom craft that seemed to appear from nowhere, only to vanish without a trace. SpookyAppalachia.com, everybody. Go check them out.
This one does sound like
about weird stuff.
Like a early experimental aircraft.
Yes. Now,
more so than like the Roswell.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like this is like that could legitimately be, we were trying to figure out let's say a high-speed dirigible.
Yeah. Or just somebody like building one on their farm, like saw a picture of one and like, bet I can make one.
Oh, sure.
And they just whip it up and they're like not supposed to be up there and it exploded and they were like, holy shit, did we make it out? Let's run. Not outside of the realm of possibility, I suppose. But this kind of sent me on a little tangent. Because I remember hearing about there have been UFO sightings before UFO sightings were UFO sightings.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
For a long time. And I remember hearing about an airship's like when airships came along, they finally gave a word for things that people had been seeing.
I'll agree with that.
Right.
And before that, it was, signs from God and like shields in the sky and burning crosses and wheels within wheels and stuff. So I started looking around, and one of the first things I found was a great Reddit thread that said, were the airship sightings of 1896 and 1897 genuine UFO sightings? This guy says the accounts of 1896 and 97 unidentified airship sightings may be stories of the classic UFO sightings by multiple eyewitnesses in multiple states. It includes not just sightings, but encounters with alien beings, as well as cattle mutilations. Was an alien body buried in a cemetery in Aurora, Texas?
The werewolf radar van.
Please fire up the radar on that one. Pingos, ping it off. Ultimately, it is also a crash retrieval story. The first event in history that was actually hushed up. It is also very much a story of its time. With steampunk architecture, old school flight technology, and strange blue men. So obviously, I had to search about the Aurora, Texas UFO crash, right?
Of course.
This is the Aurora, Texas UFO incident. The Wikipedia page. So I guess this segment has emerged into another episode of Jordan Reads You a Wikipedia page. The Aurora, Texas UFO incident reportedly occurred on April 17th, 1897. That's the 1800s, y'all. Just so you know.
Yeehaw!
That was weird and perfect. When, according to locals, a UFO crashed on a farm near Aurora, Texas. The incident, similar to the more famous Roswell UFO incident 50 years later, is claimed to have resulted in a fatality of the pilot. The pilot was, quote, not of this world, and was said to be an alien. The pilot was buried at the Aurora Cemetery. A stone was placed as a marker for the grave, but has since been removed. However, the Texas Historical Society posted a plaque on the graveyard. Would you like me to read that plaque?
Please.
I
What?
definitely want to know.
If you were to visit the Aurora Cemetery, you might read the following plaque. The oldest known graves here, dating from as early as the 1860s, are those of the Randall and Rowlett families. Finis Dudley Beauchamp, a Confederate veteran from Mississippi, donated the 3-acre site to the newly formed Aurora Lodge number blobber and blobbity blobbity blah. And others in their family are buried here. An epidemic which struck the village in 1891 blobbed the blah of many blahs. Located in Aurora Cemetery is the gravestone of the infant Nellie Burris. Sorry, that's a sad part. It's often quoted epitaph as I was so soon done, I don't know why I was begun. That's the saddest thing I've heard.
That is the funniest possible way to...
Welcome to Sad Dar, Laugh Dar. What? Sad Wolf Laughdar. This site is also well known because of the legend that a spaceship crashed nearby in 1897 and the pilot killed and the crash was buried here. Struck by epidemic and crop failure and bypassed by railroad, other sad things happened. Sorry, I thought that would be much more entertaining and about the alien. Here's another piece of history. Here's the newspaper article about the crash. Aurora, Wise County, Texas, April 17th. To the news. About 6 o'clock this morning, the early risers of Aurora were astonished at the sudden... Should I have old-timey voice on this, or would it just detract from it?
Do it a little bit. Give us the flavor.
I'll turn it up a quarter way. About 6 o'clock this morning, the early risers of Aurora were astonished at the sudden appearance of the airship, which has been sailing through the country. It was traveling due north at much nearer the Earth than before. Evidently, some of the machinery was out of order, for it was making a speed of only 10 or 12 miles an hour and gradually settling toward the Earth. It sailed directly over the public square, and when it reached the north part of town, collided with the tower of Judge Proctor's windmill.
I mean, I kind of want to watch.
We can take a second to talk about that
weird movie.
I mean, there is cowboys and aliens. Judge Proctor's windmill, right? The most Wild West thing in the world happened to it. And went to pieces with a terrific explosion, scattering debris over several acres of ground, wrecking the windmill and water tank and destroying the judge's flower garden. The pilot of the ship is supposed to have been the only one on board, and while his remains are badly disfigured, enough of that original has been picked up to show that he was not an inhabitant of this world.
Okay, now, do we think that he got he like injured somehow when this craft started to get downed, or do you think he got windmilled to like pieces?
Yes. Absolutely. An excellent question, yes. Mr. T.J. Weems, the United States Signal Service Officer at this place and authority on astronomy, gives it as his opinion that he was a native of the planet Mars. Papers found on his person, evidently to record of his travels, are written in some unknown hieroglyphics and cannot be deciphered. The ship was too badly wrecked to form any conclusion as to its construction or motive power. It was built of an unknown metal, resembling somewhat a mixture of aluminium and silver, and it must have weighed several tons. The town is full of people today who are viewing the wreck and gathering specimens of the strange metal from the debris. The pilot's funeral will take place at noon tomorrow. S.E. Hayden.
So,
This
number
is
one,
crazy.
I want to point out that truly this is the best that America has to offer back then, because the way that these people are dealing with a downed UFO, they're
Yeah.
gonna bury this Martian. They're not freaking out at all. If that happened anytime after 1945,
Oh, yeah, they would have
worldwide panic.
Truly.
either that, or if like Fallout has taught me anything, they would have taken the body, eaten pieces of it, mutated, worshipped the mummy for decades of inbreeding and, lasers and etc. Anyway, that is a taste of what happened. This is the incident as reported. Reportedly, wreckage from the crash site was dumped into a nearby well located under the damaged windmill, while some ended up with the alien in the grave. Adding to the mystery was the story of Mr. Brawley Oates, who purchased Judge Proctor's property in 1935. Oates cleaned out the debris from the well, debris, in order to use it as a water source.
Nice.
Because he was just begging to be mutated. But later developed an extremely severe case of arthritis, which he claimed to be a result of contaminated water from the wreckage dumped into the well.
Yeah. Also, maybe they dumped the wreckage in there in the first place because it was a poisoned well.
As a result, that's a good point. As a result, Oates sealed up the well with a concrete slab and placed an outbuilding atop the slab. According to the writing on the slab, this was done in 1945. Hoax theory. The hoax theory is primarily based on a 1980 Time magazine interview with Etta Pegway, an 86-year-old Aurora resident who claimed that Hayden had fabricated the entire story. She stated that Hayden wrote it as a joke and to bring interest to Aurora. The railroad bypassed us and the town was dying. Peggs further claimed that Judge Proctor never operated a windmill on his property, a statement later refuted as part of the UFO Hunters episode, which found the base of a wooden water pump tower constructed around the well. Okay. So that was true, then false, then true again. Paranormal researcher Jerry Drake on April 20th, blah, 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 episode of Monster Talk Live, noting that the well was clearly a bucket well of modern construction and not designed for use with a windmill, and then false again. Okay. Tons of investigations. There's been episodes, pop culture. This is an incredible story. It does strike me as something where it's like, we had to get the train to stop. We were running out of water kind of thing. We did what we had to do. But that is the kind of tip of the iceberg of what I'm calling Jordan's historical UFO barn. And we'll pick it up next week, I hope, if I can remember. Will you guys help me remember that I'm talking about historical UFOs?
I will.
UFOB.
Great. Then I'm going to pick up the skull, and it is going to... it transportated, it apportated, it skull-portated through my own skull. And it should be appearing out of Nate's skull. There it is. The old skull
Pulling it
lock.
out. I'm going to announce my segment by gently whistling through the soft tissue of the top of the skull here.
The fontanelle.
Yep. It remains, because I'm going to talk a little bit about a variety of haunted instruments.
Hell yeah. Ugh, I want to play an infernal bard so badly in D&D who has a haunted instrument, maybe a few of them. Wouldn't that be sick?
I mean, why don't you have, might as well have an arsenal.
Yeah. We'll talk.
This is my harmonica.
See, See,
That's what the kids want right there.
that's the stuff. That's the shit.
So this first one comes from Reddit. Of course, user SimDog91.
Of course.
This happened
Of course. It's Reddit.
This happened to me ages ago, way back in 2006 when I was 16 years old. I visited one of those markets that had a mix of everything from handmade clothes, street food, to plants. There was one stall that had various wooden carved African musical instruments and gifts. Very unique stall for where I live. I bought 2 instruments, both very small. One I would call a bird whistle.
Oh.
At least that's what I call them. The kind of whistle. Well, so you're going to realize it's not actually a bird whistle, because it's the kind of whistle you blow into and pull the rod thing up and down, and it makes different pitch noises.
A slide whistle?
It's a slide whistle, fucking idiot.
It's the silliest whistle.
I call it a mini trombone. You're not supposed to blow during the slide. You hitch your positions.
Well,
Sure.
It depends on what kind of clowning you're doing.
Yeah, you and this guy can hang out. You can call it a mini trombone, and he'll call it the bird whistle, and you'll both be wrong together in a car.
The other instrument was like a little ocarina-looking thing, all hand-painted.
Okay.
I brought them home and
That's
walked
closer
around.
to a bird whistle. God, I hate him. I'm sorry. I don't actually. You're great.
I brought them home and mucked around with them and then left them in the lounge room. That night I woke up around 2 a.m. to hear a distinct melody coming from the lounge room. It was the same tune over and over.
Somebody wants to
But with slide whistle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, perfected.
Hit the positions, Nate. No glides.
I lay in bed absolutely petrified as this tune went on for what it felt like forever. It was 100% the bird whistle.
Yikes. Oh, it was the mini trombone.
It was.
Roger was right. They're hitting the positions. Roger, I love the idea of a Whiplash style movie where you're punishing someone for not playing a slide whistle correctly. Anyway,
For reference, my bedroom was on the second floor, probably 20 meters from the lounge room, up the hallway. There was only my mom and brother at home, and they were both in downstairs bedrooms. I eventually plucked up the courage and bolted downstairs to my parents' room. I had to pass the lounge, but I didn't look. I was way too scared.
Yeah, fuck that.
I woke my mom up, but she couldn't hear it, and she was super sleepy, so kind of lobbed me off. Or fobbed me off, maybe?
Either way.
It is an F. I misread that.
Either way, stop using that one, England.
That's not a good word for you.
Maybe hang that one up. Not a good look.
I could still hear it for the next few minutes, but only super faintly. When it was daylight, there was no more music, but to my horror, the bird whistle had moved to the kitchen.
What?
Yeah, apparently it also
Translocational.
My brother was 18 at the time, and when he woke up, he got upset with me for playing that fucking whistle at like midnight. He wouldn't believe me when I said I didn't, and thought I was lying.
It was the ghost.
It wasn't me. It was the haunted musician.
It was the one slide man. I honestly have never forgotten the tune that I heard. Still gives me chills. It was definitely the bird whistle. It was definitely the bird whistle from the tune it was making. I threw it out after that. I was too scared.
That's not so scary. I mean, I know we've been ripping on this person.
It's
First of all,
not
I'm
that
sorry.
terrifying.
I'm sorry for your experience, but that's kind of enchanting, right?
Well, if the tune that it was playing was some sort of like,
Oh yeah,
demonic,
sure. If it was
brain
like,
boiling,
yeah,
I'm
thing.
sorry. The mini trombone has never been like menacing. There's no mini trombone part that can like usher in the feeling and sense of dread.
Okay, well, here's the thing that I thought about this too, was that he said his mom could not hear it at all, but he and his brother could. Perhaps this thing deliberately targets children.
What do you think is the scariest song it could be playing?
Hot cross buns.
He's just saying that because that's the only song he can think of how to play on that.
Well,
it's the same as Mary Had a Little Lamb all you music nerds.
I weirdly think the Six Flags song.
You think the Vanga bus?
Just very softly from the other room. Terrifying.
See, I feel like perhaps it was maybe playing a summoning song. It was summoning that Six Flags guy.
Yikes, maybe that's why I'm scared of it.
And this kid knew that somehow.
Oh, scary. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell.
That song sucks too much.
Those guys suck. Whatever.
So here is a haunted guitar for sale with a freaky story behind it.
Cool.
Now, you're going to really hate the way that this article is written. Don't worry.
Sick.
You'll know why.
Ooh, woo, guys.
You can now own a haunted guitar for the devilish price of $666.
Oh, see, I love it. Imagine this guy with a Dracula accent. You can now own the haunted guitar for the devilish price.
What exactly makes an instrument haunted? I would have assumed it could only play Nickelback songs.
Okay, I'm about to hate it.
We're Nickelback fans here on Werewolf Radar.
You leave them alone.
But this guitar's history is far more sinister and fiendish. It involves a mysterious death, whispers of Satan worship, and unexplained twangs heard in the middle of the night. But what really makes it evil is the absurd story being told about it. Reverb currently has a listing, not currently, because this is from a couple years ago, which we first heard about at Boing Boing, for a haunted paranormal ghost guitar for sale from American Vintage and Boutique Music Emporium out of New Lebanon, Ohio.
Nice.
The unnamed seller claims it once belonged to a kid who lived on his street. Rumors tie this young boy, I assume they missed a word, to
young buck.
Weird. to devil worship, seances, Aleister Crowley, black magic, and other dark endeavors of the spirit world.
He was tied to Aleister Crowley, huh?
As like a fun summer camp thing.
Like a three-legged race thing.
Yeah, no, it was like that scene in Beat It where they have the knife fight. They tie their wrists together.
Something truly dark.
Yeah.
Beat It.
So here's from the listing. I learned later that this neophyte necromancer was born in June of '66 and died tragically on Halloween, October 31st, 1979, when he was just 13 years old.
Whoa, that's the second scariest number.
His death had never been solved, but the calamitous kid was found lying on his bed with this guitar.
Kid.
Yeah, that's right.
This is one of the worst articles I've ever heard. I love it so much.
This is the listing for this thing.
Yeah, this is the Neil Breen of articles.
With this guitar draped across him, apparently electrocuted, even though this is an acoustic guitar.
That's why I can still sell it.
Additionally, when the damnable corpse of his soulless stooge of Satan was eventually discovered...
Now I'm imagining it being read by Gene Shalit. It's a perfect stooge of Satan.
That does make it fun. A 45 record of Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper was playing repeatedly on the Mephistophelian Moppets.
Whoa.
Mephistophelian Moppets GE Wildcat record changer.
Lord. Bit of a stretch on that last one, kid.
The owner says that years later, the boy's mother, who he also describes as being, quote, a propagating practitioner of the pagan arts, loves that alliteration.
Truly. That has recently been brought to my eye as a hallmark of bad writing. And now I'm seeing it everywhere.
I mean, it's a trope to where, once is fine. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, but that's now sit down, please.
Yeah.
So apparently this lady gave him the very same guitar, which has no listed brand or model name. That's when the actual haunted paranormal ghost part started.
Finally.
So this is after it's been passed off to this guy who's now selling it.
Him getting electrocuted by a non-electric guitar wasn't part of the paranormal ghost part.
No, that's just something that happens.
That was satanic. Now it's ghosty.
Might be. I see.
They claim to sometimes hear the strings discordantly ring out by itself. On 3 occasions, they say the guitar found its way from the closet to his bed, despite living alone. And, quote, the final straw occurred when they saw the guitar levitate out of the trash can I had somberly placed it in.
Yikes. Yikes.
That's
a yike is right.
They're not supposed to do that.
They usually don't.
However, you could just advertise this as levitating guitar and sell it probably more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because that's kind of rad. Like, walk out onto stage and throw your hand out like you're waiting for Mjolnir, and here comes your fucking guitar.
But it's
could you
really
imagine?
Slow at levitating, like it's taking a good
it's
while
like wobbling.
to get there. Yeah,
it's an acoustic guitar. If it was Mjolnir, it would be an actual.
Yeah,
it would be a piece of lightning that you can play.
They call it the reverse Prince. Remember when Prince threw his guitar up into the rafters at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction and it just disappeared?
I do. It was weird.
It was that's a real thing that happened. Watch the YouTube video. It's insane.
Yeah, that's totally real.
He
plays one of the most blistering guitar solos on While My Guitar Gently Weeps that I've ever heard in my life. And then he throws his guitar into the rafters and it just disappears.
It's gone.
Was it magic? Did he
The problem is,
what I meant is, was there a man up there the whole time? Was this an illusion
Roger,
he created?
Welcome to the video of Prince throwing his guitar into the rafters and having it disappear. It's either an incredibly, relatively easy to pull off piece of stage work.
Right.
It's so well choreographed and timed that it is, for all intents and purposes, stage magic, or Prince sold his soul to the devil and is a Mephistophelian warlock. And honestly, I would believe either story almost as much. It's crazy.
Fascinating. I'll check that out. There'll be a link. I'll put it on the Discord.
It's pretty insane.
It's definitely the moment where I was like, oh, Prince is a god. I see. I see now.
Oh, right. I get it.
Yeah.
Yes, the article does go on to posit that perhaps all this stuff is just made up so a guy can sell a worthless guitar for $666. But, then again, Prince.
I think what this guy... That is true. I think what this guy is selling is a guitar, a perfectly serviceable guitar, I'm suspecting.
Yeah, it's playable. I don't know if it's good, but
Okay. A guitar with a pretty cringe-inducing little piece of writing that together could be called something approaching art. And
yeah,
I think that as if you're trying to sell this as art, sure.
look, you're buying the tale.
Yeah, you're buying the tail a little. A lot. Comes with a guitar.
So here's another stringed instrument. This one's about a violin that somebody got.
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're getting into infernal bards territory.
Several months ago, I got an instrument that was quite dilapidated. After a new scroll, some serious arching corrections, and varnish touch-up, the instrument is once again playable. The violin is Italian, late 18th century, Milan school, but that does not matter. Shortly after finishing this instrument and hanging it up in the humidity closet, strange things began to happen.
Oh, God, I used to hate it when my dad would hang me in the humidity closet.
Yeah. You stay in here with my old violins and new cigars.
My haunted violins and my brand new Koyibas.
That is the dream, though, man. Growing up in orchestra, I wish that I had like a full wood bass that I would have to keep in a special room.
Hell yeah.
Well, I think this guy might be a luthier also, so he's probably
Is that like a
bunch of stuff.
vampire?
Yes, that is a vampire who builds stringed instruments.
Whoa, sick. I've watched that movie. Stradivarius.
I mean, Stradivarius does sound like a vampire.
Truly.
Count Strahd.
Damn, this is all good, dude. We might have to bring this up in Night Bastard.
Lights would go on and off by themselves. My daughter would wake me in the middle of night to ask why I was standing in her room.
No,
She'd
Mommy,
move,
Daddy.
change houses, move and run away.
It is a change house situation for sure.
Let's get out of there. Fuck that.
She told me she could hear someone talking, but not very loud.
No, run away, leave.
2 weeks ago, I had guests who slept in the same room as the closet where the violins were stored. They told me that the touch lamp in the room kept turning on, and that after unplugging it, they were awakened by someone touching their shoulders, but no one was there. The real kicker is that last week the electricity went off for a while, and while the family and I were downstairs, the door to the upstairs guest room shut, and we could hear faint classical music coming from there. We do not own any battery-powered radios. After my last experience, I did not discount the possibility that the new instrument could have a spirit with it. I took the violin out of the closet and placed it on the entertainment center. I then played a CD that was only solo piano music. If I left the room to go upstairs or down into the basement, I, and others who did not believe me, could hear the violin soon begin to accompany the piano music. If we went back to the great room, the violin music stopped as soon as we were in sight of the haunted violin.
Ask me, that's pretty strange.
Very odd. But perhaps simply the spirit of the former owner wanting to continue
to jam,
making their mark on this mortal plane.
I want to jam.
Shall we play Beethoven's Fourth?
Or the Forbidden Fifth? Let us play Mambo number 6.
The Forbidden Mambo.
The Forbidden Mambo.
So I want to talk about one last thing, and this is well known because this is the glass harmonica, which is really interesting.
Love the glass harmonica. It's real weirdo.
So this is I think the thing sort of predates Ben Franklin. Then maybe it was a lead that predates Ben Franklin.
Interesting.
because I know Beethoven, supposedly an harmonica. I thought it was a glass harmonica that killed Beethoven.
Whoa! What?
What?
Well, because it was
I
also.
thought it was Salier.
It was well,
no, they were
it
friends
was,
in real life.
I know
It was-
about it.
It was like leaden glass, and he would play with it.
Oh, he
and
loved it so.
Yeah, but so it just kind of made him lead sick.
And
Yeah.
also, for those of you who might be thinking a small little harmonica you put in your mouth.
Oh no, this is an harmonica. There's no H, and
Yeah.
it's giant.
It's a big mamma jamma.
Yeah, it's a huge thing you sit in front of. We'll describe it here.
Would you call it a mamma jamma?
I would
I would
call
say
it a
it's a-
biblical description of a harmonica. It is bowls. It is spinning bowls within bowls.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty accurate.
So this article starts off, we all know Ben Franklin is a founding father, writer, scientist, and philosopher, as well as the inventor of the lightning rod, bifocals, and Franklin stove.
I also know him as a man who have a very drippy dong.
As a man of many talents, he also played various instruments, including the guitar, the harp, the viola da gamba, and his very own musical invention, the one and only glass harmonica.
He invented it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think the technology pre-existed, but this is the one the glass one
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
exists today.
Like
is his
bifocals
invention.
also, or like
Yeah.
yes, I follow you.
He was doing it in between, going to France to get get his syphilis re-upped. Benjamin Franklin was inventing mad shit. Lazy Susan? No, that was Thomas Jefferson, right?
I think so. I forget.
A definite jab at someone in his life, right?
Yeah.
Has to
Well,
be.
Also, I have a feeling that Thomas Jefferson didn't invent anything. Someone
Yeah.
lived in his house that he didn't refer to as
Yeah.
a slave.
Right.
Probably did.
If someone named Susan and he stole her invention and then
Yeah.
named it an insult about her.
I'd fight him.
Well,
Yeah.
you
You know,
try.
You could try. You would be murdered.
Roger, I also like to think that if I'd been around back then, I would have said something.
In 1761, Franklin attended a concert in London where the lead musician played a water-tuned set of wine glasses.
Crazy.
While Franklin thought it was a unique, beautiful sound, it occurred to him that the instrument itself wasn't that functional.
Yeah.
So he decided to take matters into his own hands and create another, more advanced version of the instrument, which he called the glass harmonica.
Okay.
So this thing, the way it works is there's an iron rod with rotating, differently sized glass bowls, right?
Yes.
Fitting like one into the next. So it's it's like a kind of undulating bowl that gets like smaller and smaller, right?
That was definitely already invented by the time he got there.
Yeah.
Man, white dudes at this time were just doing that shit. Fucking what's his name? What's the electricity guy?
Edison
Was doing that to everyone.
Yeah.
He'd be like, look at this thing I found. Oh, you mean my invention? No, I just found it. Yeah, you found it on my table over there. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I found this and this is mine.
It's like, oops, I just notarized my own patent.
Yeah, look at that. It was an accident. Guys, it was a joke.
So then Franklin, and this is probably the only thing that Franklin really does, is he color codes each bowl to represent different notes, making it possible to go beyond simple notes and incorporate various chords and melodies as well. So you kind of have an idea of, it's almost harpy in that way.
Yeah, yes.
Then it's just, it spins by foot pedal, and then you just kind of touch it and move your hands around, and it makes a really kind of interesting, beautiful sound, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's
feels the
eerie. It
sound.
sounds like a theremin.
I feel it would make you go insane.
Yes.
Well, that is what we're getting to.
Oh, boy.
Of course.
Franklin's intention with the harmonica was to provide soothing, beautiful music, mimicking that of the water glasses. But unfortunately, things took a turn for the worse.
Why I allowed myself to believe this would end happily.
Living up to its present-day nickname, the world's deadliest instrument.
Okay, come on. What about the snake accord?
Franklin's glass harmonica allegedly began killing people. Here's where we get to you, Roger. The complexity of the
it's behind me.
Oh no, Roger's named in the document.
The complexity of the harmonica overstimulated the brain, which ultimately caused dizziness, nervousness, hallucination, and cramps amongst performers.
Oh boy.
In 1808, German glass harmonica player Marianne
Kirschgessner. All that other stuff is so bad. It's like, and slight itching. Sorry, go ahead.
Marianne Kirschgessner passed away, and many attributed her death to the spooky tones of Franklin's harmonica. It was not only becoming an issue for musicians, but listeners too. A young child in Germany also died during an harmonica performance.
What?
Which resulted in some towns banning the instrument for good.
I love it.
How did he die?
He flipped his shit.
Okay.
His brain turned around.
His brain flipped around in there? Man, that sucks. You hate it when that happens. It does happen. Don't sneeze too hard, anybody.
And as for the players of the harmonica, it was also believed that due to the constant touching of paint used to color code each bowl, musicians were falling very ill from lead poisoning, which is how Beethoven got it.
Yeah.
Aside from the physical toll the instrument supposedly took on the players and listeners, some also believe that the high-pitched sound summoned spirits of the dead, that the harmonica had magical powers, and in some cases, drove individuals mad. It was reported that it even caused listeners to commit suicide.
I mean, that's, once again, pretty good marketing.
Pretty solid.
For the glass harmonica. Killed Benjamin Franklin.
So while technically none of these claims have ever been proven true, I think because they just didn't have the forensic ability to look into anything.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Although I feel like they had to know about lead. Nah, I guess not, right? Not until the last century.
Man. We've been knowing about lead for a while.
That's what I thought was like.
And this is a new form of lead. In Roman times, they themselves wrote about a sickness that was attributed to
plumbum.
The plumbum, or lead.
Yeah.
So we've been knowing, like, true, this isn't like piping or like cups proper, so they might have thought that it doesn't hurt you that much.
Yeah, you're not drinking it. What's the problem?
We've known not to put lead in pipes, but you know.
For a while.
And yet I can't stop smoking it.
Yeah. And America's got a lead pipe issue as well.
I can quit anytime I want.
Jordan, just use the filter I send you.
I like the way it tastes. I like the grit.
But anyway, please get a filter. Your city might provide you a lead filter. Check that out.
You can also do. You just get those big long carbon or coal rods, put them in a pitcher.
Yeah.
They absorb it.
Our city gave us a because apparently they're replacing lead in some of the pipes over the next probably God knows how many years.
Sure.
So
they didn't do that already?
They sent everybody a Brita.
Oh, that's nice.
with regular free filters.
Yeah,
So,
once a year or so, you get like 3 filters or some nonsense.
I don't know, I feel like we get them more often than that. But
Don't drink the water. It's
anyway,
full of
check
heavy
your
metal.
city. You might get a free Brita filter, depending on if your
you're
city
cool
cares.
or not.
Yeah, if you're cool. Me and Nate passed the vibe check.
I didn't. They told me I had to drink soda.
Well, the thing is, your fiance did, and they sent a letter saying you are forbidden from drinking any water.
That's true.
From that Brita filter.
I wasn't allowed to have any more.
But they sent you a soda stream, and now you can have Diet Pepsi anytime you want.
They said, drink up, kidney stones. Let's see how it works out. Folks, thank you for listening to another episode of Werewolf Radar. If I do say so myself, a heater. We had a lot of fun today. The caffeine was flowing.
I cried from laughter this episode.
I cried from getting bit on the toe by a water bug. But it was still counted. We're counting that. And you guys all cried because you were scared to death of the terrifying topics we talk about every week. Please tell your friends to tune in to Werewolf Radar at 107.412. The Chupacabra. Just kidding. It's a podcast. You listen to the whole thing. Give us stars if you really enjoyed what happened here today. Join us on Patreon. It's going to be a fun summer. We're going to go to Texas. We're going to dig up the alien. We're going to taste its flesh. You could be part of that.
You can be part of the tasting.
That could be Patreon content. Tasting the alien. Patreon content. Check us out on YouTube, please. Check out werewolfradar.com. Check us out on Twitch. Check us out on not Twitter. Check us out on not Facebook. Check us out wherever werewolves are pinged on people's radars.
Werewolfradar.com and Patreon.
That's another one.
And our Discord are the best options.
All of them. It's too late. This Werewolf Radar is out of the jar, baby. You can't put us back in. You're going to run into us out there. Until next time, thank you for joining us today. On the count of 3, please join us in our regular old sign-off line that we do every week. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but who cares? 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky,
Spaceman Joe.
Yeah, it feels like I left the stove on.
No, it's because the stove is hot.
Oh, visit our merch